Namaste students. So computer science, first PUC and chapter number 1, fundamentals of computers. Fundamentals of computers. So last class we studied about history or evolution of computers. History or evolution of computers. So how it come, and here history and evolution of computers, it is explained that first stage of evolution of computer is abacus. It's around 2500 BC and wooden frame and some beads, and it is fixed with some rods or strings and all those things. And second one is Napier's bone. Napier's bone is already explained in last class. Napier's bone means John Napier, Scottish mathematician, he used 9 bones with carving with some numbers or digits, and there is one fixed bone, that means 10th bone, that is to indicate the 0, and using that we can perform some operation, that is Napier's bone. And third one is, it is a slide rule. Slide rule, it's during 1633 AD and it is invented by William Oughtred. Slide rule, there are two scales, set of two scales, and here there is a marginal difference between two scales, and using this slide rule in terms of log tables, we can perform multiplication and division operation in terms of addition and subtraction. And next one is, after slide rule, that is Pascaline. It's 1642 AD, Pascaline, and it is invented by French mathematician Blaise Pascal, and it is also called as, the particular machine, Pascaline machine, is also called as adding machine. Pascaline machine is also called as adding machine because it performs only addition operation, and there are 8 movable dials or wheels. Okay, these are about Pascaline machine. And next one is Leibniz calculator. Actually, Leibniz calculator is the next version of Pascaline machine. It's during 1640 something, and here in Leibniz machine he invented, that means his advanced version of Pascaline machine that performs multiplication, not only addition, it performs multiplication, and it is invented by Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz. And it is about Leibniz calculator. Next one is Jacquard loom, actually invented by Joseph Mary Jacquard, and it is used with punched cards. And next one is, that is differential engine. It's around 19th century, that means invented by Charles Babbage. Difference engine, and it can perform differential, or it can evolve the differential equation or difference equation. And here he invented another machine, that is analytical engine. It performs some analytical operation, and here under analytical engine he was assisted by Ada Lovelace, and she is considered as a first computer programmer. Next one is Holdridge's tabulating machine, 1889, and during this time, and he invented his machine, and it is for the American Department of Census. Now it is called as IBM. And it is to perform some operation. Invented by Holdridge machine is invented by Herman Holdridge. Okay, these are about evolution of computers. Next we can move on to this one. First generations of computers. That means it's the next version of after this one, about Holdridge tabulating machine, and that means extended version of that one. And here first generation of computers is during 1940 to 1956, and he introduced vacuum tubes, and can store data and instruction by means of magnetic drums. See, vacuum tubes, now it is not there, vacuum tubes are not there. Actually big in size, and here comparatively efficiency also very less. Next one is first generation computer. It is large in size. That means that can occupy a room. Whole computer can be, that means if you want to build that computer, it may occupy a room. So that's why we can say it's size that is large in size, and it requires more space. And here it produces large amount of heat, or it produces enormous heat. So that's why, because of this one heat, there may be failure of some components, right? Next one is expensive. First generation computer 1942 1956, it is very expensive, right? Next one is consume large amount of electricity. It requires large amount of electricity to run such machine. So a lot of machines are there. That means during this period 1940 to 56, Mark I or Mark 1, or we can say ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC, many machines are there, and it is very expensive and which consumes large amount of electricity. And it is the most important thing is it is operated by machine level instruction. Machine level instruction means it can be, for example, suppose if you want to give some data or instruction to the system, that must be in the form of binary number system. That means each and every instruction that should be in the patterns of binary. That means 0 and 1. So that means 0 and 1. They don't know how to handle with other alphanumeric characters and all those things. So main thing is it is operated by machine level instruction or machine language. So that's why common people cannot use this type of machine. Okay, these are about first generation of computers. See, some important points of first generation of computers are: it's invented during, that means it's period during 1940 to 56, and vacuum tubes and magnetic drums are introduced in this time to this machine. Next, it is large in size and it requires more space, and it produces large amount of heat. And then it is very expensive. And this machine also, it is comparatively slow. Execution of instruction, it is very slow. And it is consumed large amount of electricity, and it is operated by machine language. It is operated by machine level instruction or machine language. And next one is example to the first generation computer. See, here it is given: Mark I, ENIAC, EDVAC and UNIVAC. These are all examples to first generation computer. Just go through this one. So what do you mean by Mark 1 or Mark I? It is better to call it as Mark 1, and Mark 2, Mark 3 and all those things are there. Okay. And it is invented by Howard Aiken with the help of IBM, you know that expansion of IBM, it is given in last class, International Business Machines. It's a big organization, business organization. And here Mark I, it requires a size 50 feet wide and 8 feet tall. 50 feet wide and 8 feet tall, and it can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. It can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Next one is using Mark 1, that means it can perform trigonometry operation and probability functions. It can evaluate trigonometry functions and probability functions. And here it used electromagnetic signals to move mechanical parts. So Mark 1 is not purely electronic machine. It's a combination of electronic and magnetic, or we can say electromagnetic signals. It uses electromagnetic signals to move mechanical parts. Later he introduced Mark II, Mark III, etc. Mark II, Mark III, etc. Okay, these are about Mark 1 and it's very important for your examination. You can expect this question, explain Mark 1 for 2 mark or 3 mark questions. Okay, so first generation computer, we know that it is non-portable and which can, it is very difficult to handle by the common people. That means here we need machine level instruction or low level language to execute the program. And one more thing is here example to first generation computer is Mark 1. Mark 1 it can perform trigonometric operation or probability operation also. And next one is another example to first generation computer is ENIAC. ENIAC means electronic numerical integrator and calculator and computer, or another is electronic numerical integrator, analyzer and computer. It's during 1944 I think, and here it was developed by John Matley and J. Pesper Eckert Jr. and it is by Pennsylvania University and it is developed by John Matley and J. Pesper Eckert Jr. And it was the first general purpose all electronic, that means without using mechanical device. It was first general purpose all electronic programmable digital computer. Programmable digital computer, that means here we can use some programs instead of using low level language, we can use some programs, and it is the first electronic computer. ENIAC is the first electronic computer and its size here 50 feet by 30 feet floor space. 50 feet by 30 feet floor space, and here ENIAC computer which consists of 18,000 vacuum tubes. 18,000 vacuum tubes and 70,000 resistors, and it used 70,000 resistors and 6,000 switches and 1,500 relays, and it weighs 30 tons, and here it's capability to perform 5,000 operation per second. 5,000 operation per second can execute 5,000 operation. Okay, these are about ENIAC. ENIAC means electronic numerical integrator, analyzer and computer, and it is invented by John Matley and J. Pesper Eckert Jr. J. Pesper Eckert Jr. It was first general purpose computer. General purpose computer means, see, Howard computer, it is specially meant for mathematics student or statistics students, but here ENIAC it is general purpose. That means anybody can use and they can use their own purpose. That means they can build something about their operations, etc. It was first general purpose computer and all electronic programmable digital computer. All electronic without using mechanical device. All electronic programmable digital computer, and here it requires space 50 feet by 30 feet. It requires 50 feet by 30 feet floor space, and it consists of 18,000 vacuum tubes, and 70,000 resistors, 6,000 switches, 1,500 resistors, and it weighs 30 tons, and capability to perform 5,000 operation per second. Okay, these are about ENIAC, and you can expect this part also. That means ENIAC. Explain ENIAC. It is for 5 marks, 4 marks, 3 marks, or 2 marks. So it's better to study about this one. So what do you mean by ENIAC? Okay, let us move to the next one. EDVAC. Here EDVAC means electronic discrete variable automatic computer, electronic discrete variable automatic computer during 1945, and here that was introduced by that means created by the inspiration of John von Neumann. John von Neumann played a key role in the development of EDVAC. He played a key role in the development of EDVAC, and here it uses memory. See, memory, that particular concept and the vast concept of memory introduced in this case, memory, which held stored information and data. Which held stored information and data, or we can say stored program concept. And here they introduced CPU. See, here they introduced CPU, and nowadays in modern computer also we can see CPU. CPU means Central Processing Unit, and it is also called as microprocessor. Okay, these are about EDVAC, electronic discrete variable automatic computer. Automatic computer is very important, and you can expect this one, EDVAC or ENIAC. Expand EDVAC, ENIAC for 1 mark in exam. In final exam also you can expect this question. So write the full form of ENIAC. Write the full form of EDVAC, etc. Okay, so EDVAC during 1945, and here John von Neumann played a key role in the development of EDVAC. That means they introduced, those who are introduced the concept of EDVAC, they use the concept of John von Neumann, and here memory is introduced, and memory is used to hold stored data or stored information and data, and here they introduced the concept of CPU, Central Processing Unit, and CPU nowadays in modern computer also having CPU means microprocessor. And next concept is transistor. Actually transistor is a small part. Actually nowadays they are replaced vacuum tubes. That means vacuum tubes are replaced by transistors during 1947. And it is developed in 1947 by Bell Laboratory, and now Bell Laboratory is renamed as AT&T Lab. Bell Laboratory is not there, and later they replaced vacuum tubes. In olden days vacuum tubes are introduced in tape recorder or radio and all those devices, and here vacuum tubes means it is very big, bulky, costly and unreliable. Okay, these are about transistors. So these points are very important for your examination. Okay students, so we know that first generation computer is not unreliable, it is not reliable, and here some points about what we can say, some example to the first generation is Mark 1 and ENIAC. We studied about that one. Mark 1 means, here what happens is in Mark 1 it was designed by Howard J. Meckert, and here next ENIAC is the first digital computer, and UNIVAC, next one is UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer. UNIVAC is Universal Automatic Computer, this invented during 1951. Universal Automatic Computer 1951, and it was invented by John Macleay J. Presper Eckert, who was the creator of ENIAC. ENIAC is the first electronic computer, we can say, and they invented this one also, Universal Automatic Computer, and it is for commercial data processing computer, and its weight is 80 tons, and they can occupy 14.5 feet by 7.5 feet by 9 feet. And here in this case under UNIVAC computer it uses stored program concept, and that particular computer is called as stored program computer. So what happens is, stored program means some set of inbuilt programs, they are used to perform some operation. Sometimes we need to access such programs or built-in programs to perform our operation. So such program is called as stored program concept, or we can say stored program concept. It is almost near to the monitor programs or current instructions. Whenever, suppose if you want to switch on your computer, stored program instructions or stored program concept that will help our computer to boot. Right? Okay, these are about stored program computer. And next, that could store up to 12,000 digits. Up to 12,000 digits you can store by using UNIVAC. And the next point is operator keyboard and console typewriter for input can be used in this case. So keyboard input is also allowed. Keyboard means operator keyboard. That means it's almost near to the modern computer status. And what happens is here, operator keyboard is used in this case, and then console typewriter for input. Console typewriter for input. Okay, these are about UNIVAC. It's invented during 1951, and creator is John Medley and J. Pesper Eckert, who are creator of ENIAC computer. ENIAC means electronic numerical integrator and calculator or automatic computer. Okay, let it be that. And it is mainly for commercial data processing computer. See, UNIVAC mainly used for the commercial data processing computer. And here weight 80 tons and its size. It uses some floor space like 14.5 feet by 7.5 feet by 9 feet. And here it uses stored program computer, or it uses stored program concept. See, stored program concept means there are some set of instructions, and such instructions that will help user to execute their program by providing some built-in functions. And here also, which helps a computer during booting or booting stage, and that could store up to 12,000 digits. That could store up to 12,000 digits, and operator keyboard is allowed. Keyboard is also allowed, and console typewriter for input. Console typewriter for input. Okay, these are about UNIVAC. UNIVAC invented during 1951, and you can expect this question. So, what do you mean by UNIVAC, or explain UNIVAC for 2 or 3 or 4 marks questions. So, it's very important. UNIVAC, Mark 1. And ENIAC. So all those things are very important. So next one is, we'll move on to this one. Second generation computer. See, during first generation computer, they used only what we can say vacuum tubes. Actually, it is big, bulky, and not reliable, or we can say unreliable. And they replaced, that means computer programmer, they replaced vacuum tubes by transistors. Actually, transistor is the basic component of second generation computer. So, what is the basic component of first generation computer? Vacuum tubes. So, under first generation computer, basic component of first generation computer is vacuum tubes. So, basic component of second generation computer is transistors. And it's during 1956 to 1963. 1956 to 1963, and vacuum tubes are replaced by transistors. So compared to vacuum tubes, transistors are small in size. Transistors are small in size, and it is very efficient and reliable. So that's why instead of vacuum tubes, we can use transistors, and size is also very small compared to vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes are, in size they are very big and bulky. Okay. And here, under second generation computer, they are able to print. That means we can get the printout. They are able to print, and disk storage we can store. That means memory concept was introduced in previous session. That means under first generation computer itself. So here it can store by using the disk storage. It may use magnetic drums, magnetic tapes, or any other secondary storage device. And operating system concept also introduced. Operating system means it is nothing but it's a software which can interact as an interface with provide an interface between user and computer. It's just like a language between user and computer. It is called as operating system. And stored program concept introduced in this stage. Stored program concept is introduced in stage. See here also stored program concept is introduced, but it's almost it's not clearly introduced in this case under UNIVAC, but here it is introduced properly, stored program concept, and which will help us to boot our system. Okay, these are about the second generation. And next point about second generation is these computers are more reliable and solid in design. We can trust with the result, so that's why it is more reliable and solid in design. Next, assembly and high-level language such as COBOL and Fortran can be used in this stage. COBOL, so expansion form of COBOL, that is business-oriented language, common business-oriented language, that is COBOL, and Fortran, formula translation. Fortran means formula translation. So these are all very important aspects regarding to the language. So language, that means programming language introduced in second generation computer. During first generation computer, machine level language only introduced, and we can use a machine level language. But in this case, in second generation computer, we can introduce some high level language and assembly level language. That means instruction not needed to be in the machine level language, not needed to be in 0 and 1 form. Here we can use some mnemonics, and here we can use some English-like statements. And here languages are COBOL and Fortran. COBOL means common business-oriented language. Fortran means formula translation. That is mainly used in the science field or scientific field. And here it is for the business people, that can be usable to the business people. Okay, these are about second generation computer. So today we studied about first generation computer and examples of first generation computers like Mark 1, and then ENIAC, and then EDVAC, UNIVAC, and something about transistors. And we studied about second generation computers. So these are all very important. You can expect this question also for your examination for 5 marks.